I suppose it's going to be a Marmite thing, this design, isn't it? You know, you'll either love it or you hate it. I describe this as a really scruffy guitar, which suits me, doesn't it? It's definitely not a knockoff. It is a right proper scruff bag, really, if you look at it. This is not sponsored by Eastman. I bought it with my own cash money. I like it, so I'm telling you. It just fits like a glove. Hi everyone, thanks for joining us. Happy New Year and welcome to the Guitaristas. First show of 2023. We're back. Normal service is resumed and we've got a new guitar to look at. Eastman Juliet. As you saw from the thumbnail, Eastman Juliet V for varnish, B for black, B for Bigsby. Look at that. What do you reckon? As you know, if you follow the channel, I got turned on to Eastman in a big way last year. I discovered the brand. They're mostly known for very high quality copies of Gibsons, really. The Les Paul Juniors, the single and the double cut, which I got both of those last year, and the Les Paul, the Burst, the SB59, which I voted as my guitar of the year just last week. So yeah, they're great guitars, although, you know, copies, if you like. So this is an original, but this is an original design. It's only been available for a few months. I started seeing reviews of these last September, just, you know, not that long ago. This is in fact their second original. Their first one is a semi-acoustic, which has got this kind of shape to it as well. I think it's a similar shape to semi-acoustic, and that's called Romeo. So then this latest one, they've called Juliet, and it's a fully solid body. Can you see what they did there? And it's an interesting guitar. It's an interesting looking guitar. I'll be honest, when I first looked at this, you know, in pictures, obviously I became aware of Eastman and I thought, oh, that looks interesting. I wasn't convinced I liked it, to be honest with you. I looked at it and I thought, I was a bit on the fence, and I didn't get excited about it then. We're talking a couple of months ago now. And I kind of, you know, left it. And then I sort of looked at it again and I thought, I don't know really. I don't know. Do I like that? Do I like that shape or not, really? And then the more I looked at it, the more I kind of began to warm to it. So, and once you, you know what it's like. If you've got the guitar thing, if you've got the addiction, once you start to hone in on something, that's the expression I'm using. It's probably not the best one, but once you kind of get fixated, once your magpie eyes have spotted something, you're like, actually, well, look, what I actually thought was, I'm going to give it a try. Because the specs on this are great. We'll go through all that in a minute when I stop waffling. The specs are great. So on paper, it looked like it could be a real treat. So I thought, I'll get one in and we'll have a look and we'll see what we think. So I did. I got one in and here it is. Eastman Juliet VBB or something like that anyway. First guitar of 2023. What we're going to do now is we're going to review it. Deep dive review, go through all the specs, weigh it, look at the neck measurements, blah, 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 and we'll take it apart. We're going to take an Eastman Juliet apart today. Look under the hood, as I say. I was going to say they say, but I say that. I don't know what they say. Anyway, that's what we're going to do. It's going to take a while. So don't forget, timestamps are in the description box. You know, if you're in a hurry, you just want to skip forward to see what it sounds like. You know, don't be afraid to do that. I won't be offended. If, however, you've got a little bit of time on your hands, you might still be on holiday. for the new year? Well, go and grab a drink, get some of those Christmas leftovers down you, and some nibbles. You might have some nibbles left from the Christmas holidays. Here's the time. You can watch me dissect an Eastman Juliet, waffle on about it, and we'll find out what we think. So, yeah, go and do that. Get a drink, some nibbles, come back, and let's get stuck in. Let's do it. This particular model, Bigsby humbuckers antique varnish finish. This one retails £1,859, and that's the street price as well in the UK. There aren't many here at the moment, just a couple that I saw advertised. I got this one from Guitar Village in the UK, and of course I made a cheeky offer of £1,699, which they accepted. So yeah, that's what I paid for it, £1,699. There are other models, i.e., you know, with hardtails. There are ones with P90s, different colours, different finishes. What I'll do is later on when we catch up and you know, for the summary, we'll go through the different models in the range and the prices, because I haven't researched that yet. So we'll do that later if that's okay. For now, this one, yeah, £1,859. I also see that CME in the States have got it listed on pre-order at, I think it's what, $1,769 US. So that's even cheaper. So yeah, we'll see how they start to land. You know, it's going to be around about that though, around about $1,700, 1,700 quid. So yeah, it's proper money, but it's got a proper high spec. As we'll go through that now, shall we? So like all Eastman guitars, as far as I can tell, this is made from Akume, which is a African mahogany, they call it. It's a mahogany alternative. It's a lightweight, very stable tone wood. It's a nice tone wood as far as I can tell. This is a one piece. It's a one piece body and a one piece neck. Now this is a set neck, not a through neck like a Firebird. I say that because obviously it's got this, what I think is an attractive, you know, center ridge block there. It's all one piece, however. These aren't wings. And the neck isn't all attached. It's a set neck. Unlike a Firebird, which is, you know, in a Firebird, it's all one piece, isn't it? It's a Fender scale length, this, 25.5-inch scale length, nut to bridge, Fender scale length. Nice. It's got a chunky neck. We'll measure that in a minute. It's got a 12-inch radius fingerboard, which is made from ebony, and it's got Jescar fret wire. I suppose you'd call them medium jumbo. They're fairly meaty. For the real nerds, the fret wire is, hang on, I've got to look at my notes for this one. It's 47104-P. Let's look at the hardware. The tuners are go-to. You can see metal button, age, they're SD91 go-to tuners. We'll talk about the bridge when I take it off in a minute. We'll talk about the pickups in a minute when I take them off. Bigsby B5, proper US Bigsby B5. Oh yeah, and the finish, the antique varnish finish. If you've seen any of the other reviews, you'll know what I think of it. I love the antique varnish finish. I love the aging, the relic, the look. I describe this as a really scruffy guitar, which suits me, doesn't it? Perfectly. It is a right proper scruff bag, really, if you look at it. In terms of a relic, it's a bit like me, isn't it? A relic. Yeah, it's but you know, you'll either love it or hate it, won't you? But there are other finishes, as I said, and we'll go through those later on. So if you're like me and you like this kind of look, which has really grown on me, incidentally, I said I was a bit on the fence about what I thought of it. So you know, I love it now. Now I've held it because, like all of the Eastmans I've bought, it feels great, and you want to pick it up and play it, and you don't want to put it down. You just want to. I've found myself. I've had this just before Christmas. I actually bought this, And throughout, I've found myself playing it at times when I wouldn't normally, you know. I'm about to go to bed to sleep and I pick it up and an hour later I'm still playing it, which is, you know, it's a good sign, obviously. It sounds great as well. I mean, you know, unplugged, it's got this beautiful ring to it, and plugged in, it sounds fucking great as well, I must say. But look, yeah, I am gushing about it. I do like it. Let's take the strings off now and have a closer look, and then we'll have a listen to it, and hopefully you'll see why. But first, let's weigh it. I was guessing around about £8. No, £7 4 ounces. 3.30 kilos. There you go. I like that. In terms of the design, the shape, do you like it? As I said earlier, I think I've said it a couple of times now, I was on the fence a little bit, but then, you know, the more I looked at it, the more I liked it. It's got some brilliant, unique touches to it, like this embedded guard. Is it a pick guard or is it a scratch plate? I don't know. What do you call it? Anyway, it's got one of them and it's embedded. It's got this embedded, oh, it's a Schaller 3-way mega switch, that, apparently. I might as well tell you that as I'm playing with it. Can you hear that? It's got that, it's German engineer, isn't it? It's got that Mercedes car door certainty about it. Yeah, nothing cheap about that. Where was I? Yeah, there's not a lot out there like this, but I did come across, okay, Robert Smith from The Cure, his Schecter signature, I think it's called the Ultra Cure. It's kind of like a skewed, elongated version of this. So that really helped sell it to me. I thought, you know, that's such a cool band guy. It really did help sell it to me. And of course, the only other thing that really I think looks like it, or that I know of that looks vaguely this shape, is the Reverend Charger. And of course, Reeves Gabriel from The Cure has got his own signature versions of that. So it's kind of all adding up. I'm thinking that they might have been an influence on this design. But apart from that, it's definitely not a knockoff. So there you go. They're doing their own thing at last. Not that there was anything wrong with what they are doing, and I hope they continue to do that, actually, because they're making some brilliant guitars. In China, as you know, in their workshop in Beijing, and these are handmade in China. You know, some of you might just need to get over that. Or maybe I'll just cut that out. It's probably unnecessary, isn't it? Unnecessarily antagonising people. Because some people don't want Chinese guitars, do they? Fair enough. I do. It's fair enough as well, isn't it? Let's move on. Right, let's get these strings off. So Bigsby is going to be interesting. It looks it's pretty standard original design Bigsby, this, which I think is a bit quirky restringing. So when I do restring it, we'll show you that. But let's just get the strings off. Here we are. So we'll do a close-up of the fingerboard there and the frets for you. We'll have a closer look at all that. The board, oh, I did think the board, it looks a little bit dry actually, but apart from that, you know, the fretwork's fabulous. Here's some close-ups for you. It's got a lovely rolled edge, and it's just first class job. You know, as I say, these are handmade, and look, I'll go real close. I mean, there are no tooling marks or anything like that. There are no. I always think this is a contradiction because it's a relict guitar, and you look at it, it's, you know, it's beaten up really. It's got little dings in it. All this is done by the the way that they hand finish these guitars, you know, with different layers. It's nice. I love the look of that. It looks like a black over cherry, doesn't it? But getting back to, yeah, like, so when you look at the edge of the fingerboard and stuff, there's no obvious tooling marks or anything there, you know, that you might see on other brands, shall we say. I'm just sort of, you know, feast your eyes on that headstock. I suppose it's going to be a Marmite thing, this design, isn't it? You know, you'll either love it or you hate it. I like it a lot. I like the way, I'll try and do a close-up of this, the way that they've layered this. I mean, I know that's not unique. A lot of people do that, don't they, now? But it's just nice. What is particularly nice that I haven't seen before is this understated, I can't think of another word at the moment, but this tiny little truss rod access hole. There, look, there's no cover on it. It's just a little hole. But there you go, bone nut, lovely little, you know, lovely sort of those Fender style split post tuners. Oh, I'll tip that over because I think we might lose my spring. There you go. Okay, let's have a look at the neck measurements and profile. Okay, here's the neck profile and measurements at the 1st fret. And here's the neck profile and measurements at the 12th fret. As you can see, it's got a nice round clubbiness to it, which I really like. So yeah, really nice chunky neck. I like it a lot. It feels good. It might not be for everyone though. Bigsby B5, there's the spring. I'm just going to put that there out of the way. I'm not going to take that off. What I am going to do is have a closer look at this bridge. Now, let me just get my scales. So this bridge is made by Goldo. I think that's how it's pronounced. I'm not sure. I think it's German. It's a 3-point vario, and I will explain what that means because I think I know. It basically means that each saddle is grounded at 3 points. The screw, that end, either side of each saddle, but not at that end. Not at this end here. It's not connected. So it sits properly. And what they suggest is that if it's fixed that end as well, like many more traditional ones, the saddle can wiggle loose, whereas this can't. It's making contact properly all the time. There you go. Whether or not that's true, I don't know, but let's weigh it anyway. 53 grams for those of you that care. It's a nice thing. And now this is look at these posts, thumb wheels and posts. In fact, they are very similar to the Duesenberg. They've got this 3-step on them, and I think that, well, I'd go as far as to say this is the same bridge that you would find on the Duesenberg, certainly the Star Player that I had. Look at that. I'm just doing that because the action was a little bit low actually for me. So we'll check it properly later. That's the bridge. Bigsby B5 is a Bigsby B5, isn't it? It's the proper one. I've been playing this right over the Christmas holidays. The tuning stability was just first class. I don't think it went out of tune. And I was practicing me warbling. So that's good. These knobs are made by Goldo as well. Pretty heavy duty knurled knobs, aren't they? It's got 2 volumes and 1 tone, incidentally. For these bare knuckle old guard pickups, that's what these are. Bare knuckle old guard. Part wax potted, I understand. So you've got a volume for the neck, a volume for the bridge, and a tone control. So let's look at the pickup readings and then let's pop them up and have a look. Let's do the readings first. Okay, so neck 7.73 kilo ohms, and the inductance of that in Henrys is 3.68, and on the bridge 8.54 kilo ohms, and that one is 4.26 Henrys. Okay, middle reading for those that care, 4.06 kilo ohms. There you go. Bare knuckle old guards. Let's pop them up and have a look underneath. Right. I think like every Eastman that I've taken apart, there's very little slack on the pickup wires, and there's not enough, and I've undone the back to see if I can give it some slack. I can't flip the bridge pickup over because there's just not enough slack, but there is here on the neck pickup. And as you can see from this cavity, it's got a long neck tenon. It looks like that. It's sort of handmade, because it is handmade. There you go. And the pickup says bare knuckle bootcamp, hand wound in the UK. OG neck, and I guess that stands for old guard neck. So that's all pretty straightforward. And from what I've read, these are partially wax potted by special request. So, and you know, lovely aged nickel covers. And I can't get back in there. I slackened off that one, and I can't get back in. There you go. Get in. I'm gonna have to do some work on that. Bollocks. Not sure what bootcamp means. Might do a little bit of research on that to see. I don't know much about bare knuckle pickups, so this will be the start of a journey of discovery, I suppose. But the Spectre's old guard. It says boot camp on the back. Don't know what that means. I'm going to find out. Let's screw them back and then flip it over and look in the control cavity. So here we are in the control cavity. We've got CTS 500k pots and a .047 orange drop capacitor. And I just noticed the cover is a really nice looking taut control cover, quite unique. It's got a little bit of look, paper, kind of like a hand cut piece of paper. I imagine that's just to, yeah, that's to make it less see-through. Look, if you take that paper off, it's see-through. Whoa. Yeah. I wonder if that's the same with the switch on the other side. I'm going to have to find out now, aren't I? Anyway, I'm going to put the paper back for now. If I can. And remember which way up it went. So have a look at the, just under this switch. I do love the taut, the design, the contrast with this particular colour. See if it's got a little bit of paper under it as well. Yeah, there you go. There's no slack. I can't pull the switch out, unfortunately, because there's no slack. But there you go. But it's got a little bit of paper just lining under the taut so that you can't see through it. I wonder if that's something they discovered after they put them together, that they were see-through, these covers. You might want to take the paper off. I'm not sure I do. So I'm not going to at the moment. I'm going to have to take the pick guard or scratch plate off as well now, aren't I? There you go. There's your bit of paper. I'm just going to gently lift. It's not stuck in or anything, so. There you go. It's not painted underneath. And you can just see where it's been hand finished there. Okay, let's pop that back. Under the hood, things that are hidden that you're probably not meant to see actually. That's that. So let's put some strings on it, shall we? Let's see how this Bigsby restring works. Yeah. Here we are. Right, it's a long time since I've put strings on a Bigsby, so let's just start and see what happens. I might need some pliers or something, but let's start with the D string. I always start with the D string for some reason. Now, let's just pretend pretend I've never done this before. I think it helps if you just bend them over a little bit, and you have to hook it on the post like that. You have to remember to put the bridge on. You have to put them under this bar, I think. Can't remember. And you have to keep the tension on, because if you don't, that happens. It just comes off again. Take two. Well, no, it's not take two. I'm going to leave that in so you can see what a pain in the arse it is. I think you probably have to need pliers or something like that to make it easier. I'm going to persist. Doing it the wrong way. Tension. Now, my plan is to use a capo. Ta-da! To trap it. And then, I think that needs to be clipped about there. And then you can take the capo off and you've got hopefully a string that will stay on. It's just another 5 to do now. I'm just going to get on and do that, okay? And then tune it up and plug it in. Okay. Here we are, new strings, all strung. Unplugged. They say you can tell if a guitar is going to be good by the unplugged sound. I think there's a certain amount of truth in that. It feels alive. Well, let's find out. Okay, Princeton 65 again today. Here's a shot so you can see what the settings are. On the board, I don't know what I'm going to use, but I've got a soul food on the board and a rat pedal on the board, and the looper obviously. And we're just gonna actually start without any pedals. If I tread on them, I'll show you. With Crocs cam. Okay, so. See what it sounds like. Now I'm just rolling the volumes off, as you can see. It's a bridge pickup. Neck. Both pickups, as you can see, both rolled off a little bit. tone control doesn't work on the neck pickup. I've just remembered actually. Yeah. So the tone control only works on the bridge. Right, there you go. That was the Eastman Juliet. Sounds good, doesn't it? Yeah, I think so. So these pickups, so I did my research, by the way. These, they spec them as bare knuckle old guard, which of course they are. But old guard are part of a series of bootcamp pickups, which you saw stamped on the back. Bare knuckle boot camp, bare knuckle boot camp are a series of pickups. Old guard is the low output version. These ones, Alnico 2 magnets. And then the next one up is, refer to my notes, True Grit, bare knuckle boot camp True Grit, medium output Alnico 5 magnets. And then bare knuckle, fucking hell, this is complicated. Bare knuckle boot camp brute force high output pickups with ceramic and Alnico 5 magnets. There you go. There's the range on the screen. And they do this in P90s and various single coils as well, as I understand it. So that would, partly contribute to how good I think this sounds. You know, there's all the clarity. They're nice pickups, aren't they? You know. And what strikes me about this guitar and, well, every Eastman that I've got, which is now 4, is that they come with all the stuff you need. Yeah, all the stuff you need. Great quality pickups, great quality hardware, tuners to electronics, everything you need. Fantastic switch, you know. So it's like, you know, if you're a rabid modder and you like to modify your guitar straight away, I wouldn't recommend getting an Eastman because you just don't need to, really. You just don't need to. You'd be a fool, really, to do that. Whereas, you know, you go and buy a Gibson Les Paul Standard and you could swap everything and you could upgrade everything in it for something better, couldn't you? Pickups, hardware, electronics, tuners. You could improve it all. It'd be difficult to improve on this. You might have a different taste in pickups, but it'd be difficult to say, "Oh, this is better than any." Yeah, you know what I'm talking about there. And that's true of the whole of the Eastman range, and obviously this one is no different. It comes standard off the shelf. It's handmade with great materials and great bits off the shelf. And so very much in my mind, boutique level guitar, you know. The only thing that you might not like about this guitar is the look, as I've said, you know. It's kind of a, I don't know, you let me know what you think, please, in the comments. Do you like the look? I'm just feeling the neck when I do that, and I really like the neck on this. If you don't like clubby necks, though, please, if you're thinking about getting one, try it first, because that might be your kryptonite. No, it's the other way around, isn't it? Oh, no, it is. No, I was right first time. That might be your kryptonite. You might not like that. I really ought to work out what I'm saying before I start saying it. Let me soldier on here. The range, I was going to talk about the range. This one in black with the Bigsby humbuckers is, as far as I know, or as far as I can tell, the only one with the antique varnish finish. There are two other models in the range. There's a Pomona blonde version, which is a hardtail with humbuckers there. And that's their true tone gloss finish, which is, they've moved away from nitrocellulose apparently, and they're using this, what they call true tone gloss, which is, you know, less toxic, I think. And the other model in the range is a vintage red with P90s and a hardtail, which looks cool. Presumably well, they might not, but they say presumably. I hope that they roll out more versions in the future. This would have been nice with P90s, with the, you know, the varnish and the Bigsby. And if they ever release that, it might give me an excuse to buy another guitar, who knows. I think they're good value. I think they're really good value, although they're not affordable. They're not expensive at all in the scheme of things. And they're handmade, so, you know, what's not to love? Very much, I think, sitting between a Telecaster and a Les Paul, and sitting very comfortable. With the offset, it's very comfortable, and this is just, it just fits like a glove. Really comfortable guitar to play. Very ergonomic. I like it a lot. Upper fret access is no, you know, although they've got this little kind of nod to improving it, I suppose it must be a little bit better, but in reality, it's not noticeably any better than a Les Paul or a Telecaster. You can still feel that there. So, you know, if you want to be doing gymnastics on the 22nd fret, or well, say the, you know, 15th fret upwards, really, isn't it? Get an SG, you know, which fortunately I've got an SG or two. Well, got one or two, yeah. So, what else can I say? Well, I like it. Can you tell? And yeah, this is not sponsored by Eastman. I bought it with my own cash money. I like it, so I'm telling you. Okay. Let me know what you think, please. Let me know what you think, as always, in the comments. I really do appreciate that. I think that's it for now. I think I shall wind it up on that note and say thank you very much for joining us. First guitar review of the year in the bag. Ding. And many more to come. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you'll be joining us for, well, all of those, really. And, you know, appreciate it. So thanks very much for watching, as always. Come back next week, same time, same place, and see what I'm up to then. All right. Cheers for now. Ta-da.